You tell your child, screens are bad for you when they ask for iPad time, or you say, only lazy kids watch that much TV when setting limits. You think you're helping them understand why boundaries matter, but your child is developing shame about their natural desires for entertainment and starting to hide their screen interests from you. What you don't realize is that there's a crucial difference between setting healthy screen limits and accidentally shaming your child for wanting screens. And this difference determines whether your boundaries build trust and cooperation or create secrecy and rebellion. Most well-meaning parents cross this line without realizing it, and the damage can undermine everything they're trying to accomplish with screen addiction recovery. At the end of this video, I'll reveal the exact language framework that maintains firm boundaries while preserving your child's emotional safety and self-worth. Screen limits are about protecting your child's well-being by setting appropriate boundaries around technology use. Screen shaming happens when we attach moral judgments to screen desires or make children feel bad about themselves for wanting digital entertainment. The difference isn't always obvious because both approaches might involve saying no to screen requests, but the emotional impact on your child is completely different. Screen shaming sounds like, screens are rotting your brain. You're being lazy. Other kids don't need this much entertainment. Or, you should want to play outside instead. These statements communicate that something is wrong with your child for having screen interests, that their natural preferences are somehow defective or disappointing. Even seemingly educational comments like, screens make you less creative, or real kids played outside in my day, carry an undertone of judgment about your child's character or worth. Screen limits, on the other hand, focus on family values, health needs, and appropriate balance without making your child feel ashamed for having normal human responses to engaging technology. Healthy limit setting acknowledges that screens are appealing while maintaining boundaries. Screens are designed to be really interesting, and in our family we balance them with other activities. Or, I understand you want more screen time, and our family rule is 1 hour per day. The emotional impact of these different approaches shapes your child's relationship not just with screens, but with their own desires and with you as their parent. Children who experience screen shaming often become secretive about their technology interests, lie about their screen use, or develop anxiety around their natural entertainment preferences. They may also become more resistant to limits because they feel they need to defend themselves against implied criticism of their character. Here's your actionable insight. Implement what I call the desire validation with boundary maintenance approach. When your child asks for screen time, first acknowledge and validate their desire. You really want to play that game right now, or I can see you're excited about watching videos. Then state your boundary clearly without attaching moral judgment. And our family's screen time is finished for today? What would you like to do instead? This approach honors their feelings while maintaining your limits. The key difference is that you're addressing the behavior and family rules, not making judgments about your child's character, intelligence, or worth. You can disagree with unlimited screen access without making your child feel bad about wanting it. This builds cooperation because your child doesn't feel they need to defend their basic humanity or hide their interests from you. Screen shaming often develops accidentally when parents feel defensive about their screen decisions or when they're trying to convince children to accept limits. When your child resists boundaries, it's tempting to explain why screens are bad rather than simply maintaining your family's values. But children don't need to believe that screens are harmful in order to accept appropriate limits. They just need to understand that families make choices about how to spend time. The language you use around screen interests sends powerful messages about whether your child's desires are acceptable. Saying, I know you love that show and we're choosing to watch it for 30 minutes is very different from, you watch too much of that silly program. The first approach respects your child's preferences while maintaining boundaries. The second suggests their interests are somehow wrong or excessive. Be particularly careful about comparing your child to others when setting screen limits. Statements like, your sister doesn't need screens to be happy, or When I was your age, we didn't have iPads. Create shame by implying that your child's screen interests indicate personal weakness or failure. Every child has different temperaments, interests, and needs, and screen appetite varies naturally among children. The goal of healthy screen limits is helping your child develop internal regulation and balanced lifestyle habits, not convincing them that their attraction to engaging technology is something to be ashamed of. Children who feel accepted for their natural interests while learning to accept family boundaries develop much stronger self-regulation skills than children who feel they must hide or suppress their authentic preferences. Watch your own emotional tone when discussing screens. If you express disgust, frustration, or moral superiority about technology, your child absorbs these attitudes and may begin to feel ashamed of their own screen interests. Maintaining a neutral, matter-of-fact tone about screen limits helps your child understand that boundaries aren't punishments for having wrong desires, but simply family choices about lifestyle balance. Some parents worry that validating their child's screen desires will make limits harder to enforce. The opposite is actually true. Children who feel understood and accepted are much more likely to cooperate with family rules than children who feel judged or criticized. When you acknowledge that screens are appealing and that your child's interest is normal, you remove the emotional charge from limit setting and make compliance easier. Remember that your child will encounter screens throughout their life, and your goal is helping them develop a healthy relationship with technology, not teaching them to feel ashamed of finding it enjoyable. Children who learn to accept limits without developing shame about their interests become adults who can use technology mindfully rather than feeling guilty or secretive about their digital choices. The families who successfully maintain long-term screen limits are those who separate behavior boundaries from character judgments, who validate their children's interests while maintaining their values, and who remember that wanting engaging entertainment is a normal human response, not a moral failing. Comment below and let me know what you are currently struggling with relating to your kids' obsession with screens. Click the link or check my bio to discover an ebook that can give you all the skills that you need to stop your child's screen addiction.